Welcome back to Six Arrows. Again, this is part 2 of the escapades that we had at Ruben's house yesterday. He's going to walk you through a little bit of the background that he has in saddle hunting and go quite in depth into a retrofit job that he's doing on the saddle that he plans on using this fall. Yeah, Ruben's been interested in saddle hunting for quite some time, and I think it's pretty interesting to see the progression as he's worked through this and figures out exactly what works for him. So take a look.
Okay everybody, so I have taken to doing a little more DIY than I have ever kind of done in the past. I have been saddle hunting now for 2 or 3 years, and I've always just found myself, I just move a lot in the saddle, and I don't know that it's gotten me busted, but I sure don't like the possibility that moving around can get me busted. So that's number one. And then number two is, in order for me to really be comfortable, I like to sit, and I don't like the fact that my knees have to dig into the tree on a traditional saddle. So I have kind of gone on a journey. Last year I bought a JX3 Hybrid, and really liked the seat platform on the JX3 Hybrid. But I didn't like the way that it was all attached with the back, and so I've kind of taken it apart, and you'll see that here in just a second, to modify it to my own needs, because I really like the fork that comes out the front, and the way that that kind of swings into the tree, and you can just sit there and in really all-day comfort. But I wasn't thrilled with how it was attached to the back. So what I did was I took it apart, and like I said, I'll show you in a second what that looks like, and you'll see it in the tree here in a moment. But what that left me with was no real fall prevention up in a tree. And this is all off-season work. I haven't hunted like this yet up to this point. But what I did was I took a hunter safety harness. You've all seen those before, and I cut it up. I basically took the top half off. I took the belt for the JX3 Hybrid, okay, and I went to the shoe repair guy, my local shoe repair guy, and I had him stitch some stuff. So he stitched these two loops right here that my fingers are coming through, okay, and you can see that my belt fishes through there, okay. So what that gives me is it gives me an attachment to my belt, for one. And for two, I was able to keep the lineman's loops on the hunter safety harness. The belt from the JX3 Hybrid comes with lineman loops as well. Okay, so now I have in effect 2 sets of lineman's loops, and then I said, hey man, sew that into a loop as well, because who knows what you could use an extra loop for. And so now I've got that loop, and then that loop is what I used to drag deer with. I hook a rope to the deer and to myself, and then I just kind of pull it out of the woods that way. But you hook, if you actually do fall out of the tree, you can hook that little strap that they give you to your heel and stand up and relieve the pressure. So and then it's stitched rigidly into the back here as well. And so what this looks like on is, this is going to be my fall prevention while I'm in the tree. So I'm just going to put it on like you would any type of harness. Get it under my belly there, and then unhook here, and hook in here. And when I go climb in the tree, I'm going to climb with these lineman loops, and then once I get settled in into my tether, right, which is going to be hooked to the platform or the seat of the JX3, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to use my lineman's rope, and I'm going to hook that to these 2 loops, and it's going to follow my bridge and come down and hook, right? So I'm going to have 2 forms of, or I'm basically going to have a backup. My backup is going to be the fall prevention here, right? And then obviously that would be the secondary, and the primary is the actual JX3 Hybrid seat that I'm sitting in. That's obviously hooked to the bridge, and this only comes into play if something really bad happens, which we hope that never happens. So let me come over here and show you a couple things. We probably should have organized this a little bit better than I have it now. This is the seat for the JX3 Hybrid, and as you can see, I have detached it from its frame pack. And the way that I plan on using this is, like I said, is just a seat in the tree. This is the bridge that'll be out in front of me. Like I said, one of the things I really like about this JX3 Hybrid is just with the turn of a knob, you pull this out, and then you can kind of sit into the tree, and that gives you a really stable platform for just sitting. You have your knees on either side of the tree, and man, it is really comfortable. And that's what I'm really geeked about. And this thing is super light. I don't know that I'm done modifying this yet. What I currently have on it is with the way it comes is with a back strap, so that you can kind of lean back into it for your all-day hunt if you kind of want to sit up and just kind of lean back. So that might end up coming off, but what I do like about that is you have yet another set of loops here that you can hook, that you can use to hook to. Now the way that this pack comes is it has these two attachment points right here that used to go to the back of the frame pack that I've disconnected. Okay, so the way that used to go was like this. Okay, and so with the JX3, that its original design was used, and it could actually kind of fold up. And if you notice right here, it's got this hook, and it hooks on, and then you can walk into the woods that way, and you put that frame pack on your body. One of the things that's really nice about that is you can carry in a bag of corn if you're allowed to bait in the areas that you hunt. We can bait here in Ohio. But I just didn't like its operation in the tree. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use this as my frame pack. I'm going to rig up a bracket that looks a lot like this, and I'm going to use my Lone Wolf Versa button, and I'm going to hook a Versa button in there. So basically I'm going to have an aluminum bracket machined out, and the sticks are going to slide in there, and then I'll attach them using these loops here that were provided by JX3 that I kind of dismantled to get this thing apart. So in other words, when I put this pack on my back, and my sticks are going to be right here. I just take my stick, boom, put it on the tree, and go up, and then I grab the next one. So that's how I'm planning on modifying the frame pack. The platform, the Predator platform, the original one, fits perfectly in between here with a set of Lone Wolf sticks out here on the side. So I'm going to attach that to the tree, and then I'm going to plan on to the pack, excuse me, when I go up the tree, and then I'm going to zip tie, or what do they call these, night ties, gear ties, my coat, because I don't like to wear my coat in. I get all hot and bothered, and I don't like to stink when I'm out in the whitetail woods. So I'm going to have my coat on there, and I think I'm actually, with these little plastic MOLLE loops from the frame pack, is I got another pack from Tethered, and I'm going to use that for probably putting a water bottle in, a grunt tube, a decoy, and then when I get up into the tree, I'm going to hang the gear tie, or night ties. I'm going to hang it to the side of the tree, and I'll just have my coat here, and I'll have my Tethered pack underneath that I can kind of get into the things that I'm looking to get into. Then when I get cold, I take my pack off and put it on. So this is going to operate just like a normal pack, and I'm going to hang all my stuff on there. The thing I haven't quite figured out yet, which shouldn't be too difficult, is how exactly I'm going to get the seat in the woods, but I'm going to use the hook that they give you from the factory. The JX3 gives you, they designed in there, and we're going to use that in some fashion, and maybe just do a quick gear tie or something to hold the bottom in so it doesn't come off. So that's the idea. You're going to see my setup in action here with my recurve bow in just a second. So we'll see you in the tree. Okay, guys. So I've got my lineman's rope. I've got my hybrid of a hybrid JX3 hybrid saddle. And so I'm just going to kind of skinny up this tree. And I got this lineman's rope from Tethered. It's got the spliced eye, which is really nice. Helps save on weight. Another thing that I've got here is a Rope Man 1. And this is about to make Seth totally jealous when he sees this in action. Because he's currently using a Prusik. And I'm just going to help him drain his bank account on hunting gear is what I'm going to do. So what we've got here, I just kind of threw up a combination of sticks. Most of my stuff is in the woods right now. It's middle of September or early September. But I had a lone wolf stick that I grabbed from the tree real quick. And then I got some wild edge steps. There's two types of knots that go on a wild edge step. There's the over and the under, or whatever you want to call it. And the under is a lot easier to adjust. And I've had these steps I got a bunch of them. And for me, they were always kind of difficult because I did the over knot, which kind of pinched this loop. Maybe we'll do a different video of it, but I have found a much easier knot to tie. So I found it on YouTube somewhere. Somebody's got a video of it, so it's out there because that's where I saw it. I don't remember who it was, but anyways, I'm going to skinny up this tree, and this is the first time I've done this hybrid saddle, so we'll see how it goes. Hybrid of a hybrid, that is. Look at this one-handed operation, Seth. Zip! Oh, snap.
If I ever go bankrupt, it's Ruben's fault.
You got that right. That's going to sound funny on the fast forward.
All right, so talk us through these logistics.
Okay, so once I'm up here at hunting height, gotta give a fat guy a minute to catch his breath. I'm gonna take this pack off, like so. I'm gonna clip it in to the HYS, hang your stuff. So just clip it into the hang your stuff loop. And then I'm going to disconnect my saddle from the frame pack. Put it on my bridge, or put it on my lineman's rope here for easy operation. Unclip my bridge. Put my bridge into the line. Make the connection on the other side, close my carabiner. Yeah, I got that twisted now. So I can see one thing being a problem already is those sit straps for leaning back are kind of going to cause an issue. Alright, so for me I'm going to come down with this rope a little more. It's a perfect knot. Because this is going to be a sitting operation for me. And I'm just going to kind of loosen my lineman's belt. This probably isn't where I'd have my pack exactly either, but we will see. And as I loosen that up, just kind of get into the tree like that. So you can see that my knees are on either side of the tree. My fork is all the way in at the moment. With the fork all the way in, I can really minimize my profile to the tree. And with my fork out, well, hold on. Before we go about doing that, I'm going to show you how I'm going to secondarily strap myself into the tree. So now that I know I'm in, I'm going to take my lineman's belt. I'm going to clip it into the secondary loops right there, which are the loops for the hunter safety system. Pardon me while I concentrate. Falling's not my deal. Not something I want to do. So I'm going to fish this carabiner, use the other carabiner, come down on the other side and hook it to the lineman's loop on my hunter safety harness. So now, as I sit back into the tree, okay, I've got not only the seat platform holding me in, but now I'm going to have my lineman's rope coming through my bridge, right, as a secondary fall prevention from the tree. So from here I'll just kind of fish my extra lines through the pocket. One thing I like to do with this extra piece of tree tether is I like to just kind of take it in and around my bridge, like so. It stays kind of out of my way, not in the way for any shots or anything. Kind of cleans this all up a little bit, and you can do that with the tag end of this hanger stuff as well, if that's going to bother you. So this is how I'd be hunting from the tree. The fork is just a simple reach between the legs, pull the fork out to the desired depth, tighten down the set screw, and I can use this fork now to pivot myself ever so slowly and gently around this tree, maneuver myself in for a shot.
So really the only shot you don't have is directly behind you.
Oh no, I got a drop shot too, so the drop shots will work just fine. The drop shot, and you can do the same thing. It is a little unnerving up here. This is the first time I've been in a stand this high all year, and this high. Yep. But the drop shot looks just like this. I'm going to pivot myself around the tree with the fork, use of the fork. Yep. And now I got my drop shot right here. Okay. So let's take a little break and get Ruben his bow up there, and then we'll show you some shots from that situation. Let's do it. Go when ready. Okay. Hold on, I'm going to zoom in, get the light to fix. Okay. Okay, so it's 85 degrees and I am sweating big time. Which something I didn't anticipate is that all this sweat I got going on between myself and the seat is a little slippery. It doesn't feel unsafe or anything, it's just something to note if you're going to do this. So anyway, you can see I got the fork here between my legs, or maybe you can't. I'm just going to use that fork to kind of pivot myself around the tree. This is the 12 o'clock shot, so this is one of the hardest shots. I'm going to kind of come out here with it like this. And I can use my leg to wrap around the tree or on this step or whatever. So here we go. Shot number one. Full disclaimer, I do not have my gaps set just yet. So I'm going to aim about 10 inches low at 20 yards here, and we'll see where it hits. Move myself into position real slow. I've got a fixed crawl, so my tab can come up automatically. Us traditional guys need to have our hat on backwards, or the string's going to hit us in the bill. So here we go. Shoulder blade shot. Not exactly what we want.
That's why we shoot heavy arrows, dead deer.
Good. She ain't gonna go very far. That's for sure. Okay, I'm gonna start from scratch on this and just kind of slowly maneuver myself into shooting position. About 20 feet to this platform. So we're really high. We can get away with a lot of movement up here, I think, from this height, depending on the terrain, of course. So what I'm going to do is my top wild edge step, leverage my fork off the tree, seat my fork back into the tree, rotate. Now sitting here like this, if they look up, pick movement or whatever, I can really just sit here for as long as I need to make sure that I'm not going to get busted. I have never shot this bow from an elevated position like this. I learned a little something from that first shot. Let's see if we can do it again. Negative, Ghost Rider. Alright, so it seems like I got a grouping down there high to the left. I just put a real good shot on the first one. So that looks like it's something I'm going to have to fix. We'll get more practice from an elevated position and we'll go from there. Okay, so now's the time that I got to own up to my shots. And clearly I got more practice than to do with my recurve from an elevated position. Obviously this arrow, this is the second arrow. That's a dead deer. I mean, all day long. This one here was the first arrow, I believe. No, this was the first arrow. You can see the outline of the shoulder blade here on this old target. So that's going to break a shoulder blade. That's going to break a shoulder blade. That is still going to come in there, clip the lungs, and anything else that comes down in through there that's all pulmonary and air and all that good stuff. And then this sucker, that's a trachea cutter. That's going to hurt. I don't know, who knows exactly what that would hit. But I think 4 out of 5, I'm still going to be able to recover this deer.
Yep.
I'm not thrilled with this one, not thrilled with this one, to say the least. with these other, but you know, hey, my grouping's over here. I got stuff to work on, and that's what we'll do. I've spent a lot of time tuning this arrow. It's not the arrow's fault, and it's not the bow's fault. So overall, hey, it's okay. We put some decent shots here on the unicorn. One thing that I will say is that these are exceptionally heavy arrows. I don't know about exceptionally. We got a 200 grain insert here, or tip, excuse me, field point, and 70 grain inserts made it up to a TDT Grizzly Stick Momentum.
For a total of?
For a total of about 610 grains.
So you're throwing bricks?
Yeah. So if you're not going to hit them with speed, you better hit them heavy. And you know what? You should hit them heavy all the time. Period. Shout out to the Ranch Fairy.
Ruben and I both commented, this being the first time we've been up a tree since last January. That first couple times is a little nerve-wracking. So I'm going to cut him a little bit of slack with his arrow placement there. But yeah, I think he's pretty pleased with how that saddle is going to work out for him. He still has a few tweaks to make, but I feel like he's on a path that that he's happy with, and I'll keep you updated on how it goes as he goes through the hunting season with it. If you have any questions for Ruben about the changes that he made to that saddle, or would like any more details on that, hit me up in the comments below and we can get some answers for you. But thanks for watching 6 Arrows.